You know, cycling wasn't a sport I was always really interested in getting involved in. I played tennis in college, so definitely a little more interested in tennis skirts and maybe some cowboys. It's actually funny, I didn't know how to ride a bike until after I knew how to ride a horse. Grew up on a cattle ranch here in California. After playing tennis in college, I still had a little bit of a competitive edge, and I was working in a biochemistry lab and looking at the people running and riding along the bike path below my window, and thought maybe I should try this endurance sport thing out. And it was actually my grandfather said, hey Al, you should try racing bikes. And I thought, that sounds like the dorkiest thing I've ever heard. You know, I saw him walking around in spandex and winning national championships at the age of, up until 87 years old. And I thought, I don't think cycling's for me. I'm also kind of terrified of going fast sometimes. So I was like, I'm not really an adrenaline junkie, I've got this. Then I went to my first bike race, won it. The next thing you know, I'm headed to the Olympic Training Center for talent identification. I'm racing for the USA national team and racing all over the world as a professional cyclist. And now it's been 10 years, and having my grandfather be able to see most of my career and see, told you so. I realized that cycling for me is more of just a part of life, and cycling is me. It really found me, and it's kind of just been in my blood this whole time. So I love the sport so much. I'm really happy to ride my bike all over the world.
Your unofficial winner, Alison Tetrick, with a number.
I've been watching this growing gravel racing going on and watching things like the Dirty Kanza and these really fun races, and I thought, I want to go try that out and see something new in the sport. So I transitioned into racing for Specialized in Lezyne and racing gravel. And I've actually got to do that all over the world and win some awesome races, but really connect with a really great community. What I love about gravel is it's an adventure, because it's not necessarily as structured. You have to use your Lezyne GPS to even find the course. There's not course markings or anything like that, so I really have to use my Lezyne GPS for turn-by-turn directions, and those are things I had never done before. Usually in road racing, you have a follow car, lead motos, and this you're just out in the woods in the middle of Pennsylvania trying to navigate through some things that you didn't even know you could get your bike over. As I watch this section of the sport grow, I think it's gonna be more about the adventure and the exploring new territories on your bike with all your new best friends you just met at the event. So I think gravel's gonna keep growing, and people are gonna want to keep exploring these roads that we haven't ridden a ton and see new sights and new countries even, and just experience culture in a way that the bike can do that so specially. Something that's been really important throughout my career is finding this life balance and investing myself through education and working. I love riding my bike, but I've always had a career outside of the sport. I have a background in biochemistry and went on to get a master's degree, and have been able to invest in myself through education and other opportunities outside the bike. And for me, that's really important too, because if you line up on a start line and all you have is this result in this day, nothing always goes the way you want, only once in a blue moon. So I think education is super important, and to invest in yourself and in the sciences, and to me, that's my passion. I have definitely had some pretty bad injuries and huge setbacks in my career, from a lot of broken bones, broken pelvis, traumatic brain injury, a couple mini concussions, and it's been a pretty tumultuous journey in cycling, where a lot of times maybe you would think that would make me want to quit, and it did, but I didn't want to, because I needed to come back to the sport and be able to prove to myself I was so much more than what I thought. I'm not going to say I actually used injuries to motivate me. It was more a way to find new areas in my life to have more life balance. As a professional cyclist, I've taken a lot of pride in not only supporting my partners that support me and allow me to go to these races, but also my own personal brand and me. Because if I'm gonna put my name behind a company or a product, I really want to believe in it. And I also love working with companies that constantly push the barriers, are innovative, and they're looking to make the best products and also support a community that I love. I think I was raised where there are really no barriers, whether it's gender or stereotypes or stigmas, and the options were endless. Coming and working with Lezyne for, I'm gonna say almost 10 years, 11 years I've been working with Lezyne. It was kind of like finding my bike family, because this company operates that same way. Really about an entrepreneur building a company with goals of just saying there's no limits, there's no barriers, and we're gonna just design, we're gonna research, and we're gonna make the best product in this free-spirited and adventurous way. And for me, I was like, yes, you are my home. So Lezyne's pretty much been stuck with me for almost all of my career, I'll say. Our values between me as an athlete, as my personal brand, or however you want to call it, and Lezyne have very similar goals in the way that it's just, if you want something, build it, make it happen, and we're kind of just in this together as these free-spirited entrepreneurs that are making cool products, doing cool rides, and bringing together a community in a really fun and thriving way. I really want to enjoy each ride I do, and as a professional athlete, I've had enough pressure on myself throughout my career. I would love to target some specific events, and will continue to ride as hard as I can and do the best I can, but also just lower the pressure and enjoy the day. So you never know what day you'll have your own world championships on, I feel. My advice is find an event that inspires you, prepare for it, do your research, of course, on your equipment and what you need, and then go out and enjoy the day. Because when you're at that event, you gotta let that pressure go, maybe lower your tire pressure too. Really just enjoy the day, because it's a gift. So just don't take yourself too seriously, prepare and have fun.